So I brought the Ricoh with me on my recent trip to Taiwan, and I was planning on making a lot of videos and also using this camera to take lots of photos on my trip. I even posted on YouTube. You guys might have seen it or not. Does anyone still actually check the community notes on YouTube? Is that still a thing, or let me know, because I feel like I'm just talking to myself over there sometimes. Anyway, back to my story. So I was on the street in Taiwan just like hanging around with friends and family and doing my stuff and also taking photos, obviously. I saw this clean shot and I tried to turn the camera on. Nope, wouldn't budge. It's like nothing. And I thought to myself, oh, battery's probably dead on that one, which is weird because I usually charge all of my batteries. Like I have 3 batteries, 2 third-party ones and 1 like original. And like before my trip or anything, before I go out, they are usually at 100% charged. So that was kind of weird, but I've had battery problems before, so it's not exactly new to me, especially with the third-party ones. If you've seen my videos before, you know that it could be kind of iffy sometimes. So then I grabbed the second battery and switched it out and tried to turn it on. Nothing, like it wouldn't budge. It wouldn't even like nothing. And I thought to myself, oh shoot, this is extra weird. And so I'm down to my last battery, which is the one that comes with the camera, and I put it in. And unfortunately, it just wouldn't budge. It's like a dead brick. It wouldn't even turn on. Like dead, totally dead. Just like my hopes and dreams of the Ricoh GR4 release. This time, none of the battery works, including the original one. So unless my batteries just decided to die at the same time, like a tragic Shakespearean play, something else is up. So at the end of the day, I went back to the hotel and then tried to charge up all of the batteries again, even through the USB-C port here, like through the camera itself, because I thought it might have been the charger itself that's kind of like messing all of my batteries up here. But no, nothing seems to be working so far. And I even tried the, Nintendo cassette thing where you blow the battery, whatever, and then nothing worked. Look, I love this camera, and it's been a little bit more than 3 years now since I've had it. It's been with me through a lot of my favorite street photography session and pretty much just everyday life captures. But with the unreliable battery problem, and now it's officially kind of dead with the batteries, it does make me wonder, how long is the Ricoh GR actually supposed to last? And I have to say though, besides the battery problem, I never had the dust issue like on a sensor or whatever. That doesn't seem to be the issue here anyways, and I never had that problem, which is kind of lucky, I guess, in my opinion. But have any of you had long-term reliability issue with yours? If so, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to know more about your thoughts and also learn from your experience with the Ricoh. Or if you happen to have the same issue like what I'm experiencing here, and hopefully maybe you somehow know the solution to this, I would love to know how you fix the problem here. I think on the 3rd day of my trip in Taiwan, I tried to turn the camera on again, and it actually turned on, to my surprise, and I was so elated to the point where I was like, maybe I shouldn't turn it off, because usually when I'm shooting on the street or just like randomly, I try to turn it off just to save batteries, obviously, or just like, press the back button for the screen to go to sleep. But then that quickly became a problem because I have no idea when I'm able to turn the camera on again. Like, it's just so not reliable anymore. Now, if Ricoh is dropping a GR4, here's what I'm hoping for. And the first one might sound a bit weird to you at first, but hear me out. A bigger aperture, like f2, or even bigger than that. Now, I remember going to a Leica store like last year in Switzerland, just out of the blue, because I saw the store. I was like, oh, okay, let's go try it out. And I got to try out the Q3. And obviously it's a full frame camera, and it's like also around like 28mm, but it's got 1.7. And I remember the sample shot that I took. It's interesting. Now, obviously most of the time I shoot with Ricoh, and then for street it's like I use like 7.1 or even like 8. But when you have the option to go 1.7, the photo becomes very interesting because you have this focal, like wide focal length, and at the same time you get more blurry backgrounds, which makes it a lot more captivating in my opinion. And plus, with all the other competitors like Fujifilm is already at f2. Why not make it a f2 or even, you know, 1.7, 1.8? I wouldn't mind. Next on my list would be a bigger internal storage. I don't know how many of you guys actually use the internal storage to take photos on the Ricoh. Personally, I've tried it before and it's actually quite fun. It's not exactly like the limitation you get with film, but you do get that scarcity kind of feel whenever you don't have like an SD card in here. Now obviously I don't do that all the time, but maybe if they make this internal storage bigger and larger, I don't even have to carry an SD card with me anymore. And that's just more convenient, I guess, in my opinion, because I don't like, you know, spray and shoot anyways. And I guess this way overall, you don't really have to worry about the SD card at all. Now obviously in my case, I would love a better battery, like, you know, reliable way, not necessarily longer, although that would be great, but I never really had problems with like running out of batteries and then running out of juice, unless like if it's in my case the battery doesn't even work, like all three of them all of a sudden. And this is probably not like a battery problem, it's more like a camera problem, it seems. And honestly, in my opinion, if they have to make the camera slightly larger than what it is right now, I'm actually okay with that. Not to the point where it's like the Fujifilm X100VI and that you can't fit inside your pocket, but just slightly larger, that's okay. Maybe bigger batteries or even weather sealing. I know that could be a great hit because a lot of people have like dust issues somehow. And I'm like one of the lucky ones who never had that problems like ever at all, which I'm super grateful, but dust problem seems to be quite often with these cameras. So having some sort of like weather sealing or weather resistant like with the camera body would be amazing and great. Now since I mentioned about the size, I'm not asking for like a full vlogging setup, but a bit of like a tilt screen would be extra nice, just to hit those like tricky angles sometimes. Like I totally wouldn't mind if you kind of have to like copy your competitor a little bit once in a while. The one with the Fujifilm where you can flip up and then also you can flip down just for like, you know, lower angle shots, higher angle shots. That would be fantastic. So what do you guys think? I feel like there's a lot of things that could be improved on this camera, and at the same time I also don't want it to change too much. And obviously I'm really just hoping for the Ricoh GR4 to come out, and doesn't seem that's gonna happen anytime soon. So yeah, for now I'll be using the Fujifilm X100VI a lot more now, and at the same time meanwhile just trying to figure out how do I fix my GR3. Maybe I have to send it somewhere to fix it. Ha! It turned on. Oh my goodness. Now you decide to wake up